Okay, if you don't know us, my name's Adam Collins, and this is Caitlin Bullock. Thank you so much for coming down. I know it's cold out, I know the roads suck, but I appreciate you guys all coming down. So please grab a seat. Right away. All right, we're from Enta Solutions. That was our video there. We, of course, our specialty is culture, so connecting people, profits, and process. That is what we do. So team building, process improvement, and video storytelling. And tonight, what we're here to do is tell stories. Your guys' stories. We've got some great interviews. We've got people coming up here. We've got some great speakers. And ultimately, we're here to talk about mind, body, and soul. We're going to kick off the new year, talk a little bit about how to improve our health, that type of stuff, right?
Absolutely.
So, a lot of people ask us if we're Enta Solutions, who the hell is YYC Business? YYC Business is a platform we partnered with because they have an online platform, video podcasts, video features. They have a huge network, and we thought, how amazing if we could tell your guys' story on a platform with even a bigger network. So that's why we're partnered with YYC Business here tonight, and the two of us have partnered tonight to put on this event for you. But to kick it off, we're going to talk a little bit about the whole self. So I'm going to turn it over to Caitlin.
So Adam has this all scripted, and I quote, Caitlin, monologue, 5 minutes. Here it goes. So we've all talked about whole self, mind, body, soul. This is like these buzzwords that we hear. Oh, we gotta, have the right balance, be self-actualized, mind, body, and soul. And what does that mean to us? Well, I guess the answer is it's different for everybody. Everybody's soul looks different. What they consider to be spirituality or religion looks different for them. Their mind, their body, but you know when you're in your sweet spot. You know when you're like, yeah, I feel like me, right? And so I think what we're really wanting to do, we're making connection, we're telling stories today, we're gonna be talking about self-awareness, so that we can be in the right mindset to succeed in 2025 in our own businesses, as leaders, and what we're doing here today. But this is the correlation that I love with the mind, body, soul. It's like, yeah, you as a human are your mind, body, and soul self-actualized. You're growing, hopefully, in your mindset every day. But so are businesses, and I love the correlation because the mind is like business process. The body is like all the tools and systems that you use. And the soul of your business are the people. And they're what runs your mind and your body part of your business. And without having all of those working, your people, your process, and your tools all in the right sweet spot, you lose, right? And so the more you can inspire your people to be self-actualized and to show up and be inspired, the better you're going to plug them into your process and tools. And so I love this for business. And so we had a huge turnout today. So round of applause for all of you guys who came out. Thank you. So this topic resonates because you guys all showed up here today. You braved cold weather, and I literally had a 60-degree weather swing because I came from Mexico, Cancun, which was positive 30 degrees to negative 30 degrees. So this tan's all natural. So I'm feeling really good in my soul because I spent time with my family there. My body not so much because I ate a lot of food, but that's okay. So we're gonna kick off today. I'll hand it back over to Adam. So the mind, body, soul, the reason why we're here is really to grow, be the best we can be so we can show up in our business, the best. Was that 5 minutes?
Okay, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Give it a hand for Caitlin for making that up. Okay, as we said, we're here to tell your guys' story, not our story. So our first story I want to tell is my good friend, Robin Finley. Come on out here, Robin. So I actually met Robin I actually met Robin because we used to train Muay Thai together. So if you can imagine, like two of the largest guys you can find in the gym, basically squaring off. That's, you know, what better way to start a friendship, right?
And punching each other in the face.
Punching each other in the face. Yeah, there you go. So Robin is, of course. So Robin is the president of Finley Inspection Services, based here in Calgary, Alberta. He's got 25 plus years of experience in management, sales, leadership, you name it, you've pretty much done it. Well-rounded skill set. He's now got into coaching leadership and trying to transfer that knowledge to the emerging leaders that you're going to. And you've actually got a show on YYC Business called Game Changers, but we'll get into that in a second. So Robin, first let's kick it off. Tell me a little about Finley, tell me about your coaching program, what are you up to?
Yeah, I have a couple businesses on the go. So one is Finley Inspection Services is my main business. Finley Inspection Services has been in business for 54 years. I happen to be 54. So it's a family business that my dad started and I took over about 8 years ago. So it's an oil field service business where we provide contract construction supervision. So it kind of ties in, that piece of the story ties in a bit to why I got into coaching as well. The family business, we provide field workers, so they go out, they oversee projects on behalf of the clients. But what I was missing with that part of the business is sort of, they report to me, but not so much. So I don't get to develop them like I would in a different type of more traditional sort of office setting. So during the COVID times, I kind of thought a little bit more about what I was missing from my career path. And part of what I enjoyed was coaching teams, whether it be sales, young leaders, whatever it may be, and that's rolled into a coaching business, which is now becoming pretty successful and busy and fulfilling. So it's anything from young leaders who've never led a team before to people who are sales. We talk a lot about process with Adam and Caitlin, so developing proper sales processes all the way up to executive leadership. So it's a very fulfilling business that I enjoy a lot and enriches my life.
And you actually do pretty high-end lacrosse coaching as well for a girls team.
Yeah, so I guess part of what makes my story a little bit interesting is, aside from business things, I'm a multi-sport athlete. I like to say that it was clearly by looking at me, it's not the physical part, it was the mental part of the game I was good at. So I was a former varsity hockey player, a high-level lacrosse player, and then let's say a medium to low-level kickboxer, perhaps. Started a little bit late for that. So I'm still heavily involved in the sport of lacrosse. I was heavily involved in Muay Thai, not only as an athlete, but for 20 years was the president of the national sport organization, Muay Thai Canada. Only recently stepped away from that. In the lacrosse world, I coach female athletes, anything from 7 to about 21 right now, including the 2-time national champion, Team Alberta. Going back for a 3-peat. And then I'm also involved, so that Team Alberta is a provincial team program. I'm also the founding member and director of coaching for Fury Lacrosse, which is a female field lacrosse or box lacrosse program. So I have about 100 coaches, athlete coaches that work underneath me. And I like to think I have the secret sauce for coaching female athletes, young ones. So it's a lot of fun. It's probably the most fun part of my week is spending time with young female athletes.
Amazing. Well, that's pretty great. And you also, of course, tell us a little bit about Game Changers.
Yeah, Game Changers was something that my friend Adam really pushed me hard into doing. Kind of like, I'm not taking any more meetings with you until you do this. So it's a fun, really fun thing, and I like to say I'm not all that creative. I'm a creative problem solver. I can cook in the kitchen, those are my creative outlets, but I don't have a lot of great ideas, but I'm good at making other ideas better. So Adam was really helpful in developing sort of the concept. So Game Changers are very much about the connection between sports and business. So far I've had 3 different guests. First guest was Ryan Smith, who's a former Team Canada rugby player who's got a prevalent business, oil and field business here in Calgary. Also played for Team Canada, also played some professional rugby in Europe. So we talk a lot about the connections between sports and business, whether it's identifying high-performing members of your team or how to build a team within your organization. My next guest was a gentleman named Steve Parsons, so hockey player who maybe didn't quite make it as high as he wanted to, but if you want to maybe listen to some, I don't know, let's say more adult type podcasts. He can be found on some on Spittin' Chicklets and some of those things. So he's a great big burly man and the nicest guy I've ever met. Like every hockey player who ends up being a tough guy because he had to be, that was his path. He's got some great stories where he talks about there's 3 tough guys in the other team and he points at them and says, I'm gonna fight all 3 of you tonight. You guys decide which order. Anyway, he's hysterical and but also a great business guy, so I had him on the podcast. After that, I had Jay McNeil from the Stampeders, who was a very interesting one in the sense that he's also involved in the business of sport. So he turned his sports career as an athlete, a football player, into a career in the energy industry, and now has gone back to be the president of the Stampeders and is very enthusiastic and exciting. He is a human quote machine when it comes to, you love those motivational quotes like a winner never quits and a quitter never wins, those kind of things. He is spitting those out nonstop in his day-to-day conversation. And I'm excited for my next guest, who I'm happy as a girl dad and very involved in female sports. I've got Laura Murphy is going to be my next guest. So Laura owns her own construction company, but she's also the president of Wild FC, so the female professional football soccer club here in town. And she's going to be a live wire. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's coming up here later at the end of the month.
Pretty fantastic. We actually have a clip of Game Changers that we can play. While they're figuring that out. Last question for you, Robin.
Winning isn't just about scoring. It's about valuable lessons learned along the way. Join me, Robin Finley, as we delve into the parallels between sports and business. Remember, we never lose. You either win or you learn.
Being on camera is not my happy place. So, but the Enta team is something else.
Well, you kind of alluded to that, right? So, working with us, we used to go for coffee, and then I kind of pushed you a little bit. How's that whole experience been for you, and what has it been for your coaching program?
It's been great. We've done it on a couple of different fronts. Originally, the first involvement was through Finley Inspection Services, so we're a long-serving business with a great reputation. We always had a high caliber reputation, but my dad was in his later years. He hadn't made a sales call probably in 25 years. We were this small little oil field service company, basically working out of my parents' backyard in Springbank, where they were working for one of the top 5 oil companies in the world for almost 30 years on an exclusive contract, yet nobody really knew who they were. No website, very much a mom and pop operation. So the first step with Enta was coming in and getting a little visibility for our brand. So we spent some time doing that through social media. The first 6 months were very much brand recognition. The second 6 months were more on focus about what makes us different, and maybe better in cases, and why would you want to work with us. So that was very successful, and that evolved into the Game Changers experience. So I've done everything from the company, promos with their great team, where I thought I was pretty good on camera until I remembered that I had been hit in the head with a lot of pucks, a lot of punches, and a lot of kicks. So remembering some of the lines wasn't always as good as didn't go as well as I'd hoped. So their great team did some movie magic to piece the things together. Once we got into a little more like the Game Changers venue was a little more fitting for me, more casual off the cuff, and I really enjoyed that. But yeah, all throughout, they made all the experiences very comfortable and have produced what I believe is a very professional product.
Thank you so much, Robin. Last thing before we let you off the stage, if someone out there is interested in coaching, come talk to you. What type of person is ideally suited to work with you?
Well, it's very much a fit. I think you have to have the right fit. So yeah, I'd love to offer up like a complimentary consultation with anybody who's interested. So we'll definitely sit down and talk. So the best fits for me are, not just, I want to say high achievers, but people who want to be held accountable, people who want to grow and develop. I would also say that we like to have some fun, that's for sure. I did mention earlier on that I think I have some creative problem-solving solutions. So aside from the coaching, it's kind of a coaching and consulting type of role where I can bring a little information that way. But I love the people who want to learn more about leadership, how to lead naturally. I do think that leadership is a little bit ingrained in people, but I think a lot of it can be learned. So those are some of the things I would say make it a good fit for a client for me.
Okay. Fantastic. And remember, we used to punch each other for fun. So if you feel like that's what you mean, that's the guy. Everybody, Robin Finley, thank you so much. Okay, next up we have Megan Barefoot, but I don't see her.
She's here.
She is here. Oh, there she is. Okay.
Come on up. Can she have your mic?
Can I have your mic? I am a certified holistic nutrition consultant and certified health coach. I like to help people get to their health and wellness goals using practical nutrition. Little changes that they can make on a daily, weekly basis to help them feel their ultimate best. I was a geologist for close to 12 years downtown Calgary. I love.
Awesome.
I do.
Love. She does love. I can attest that. Megan is a very good friend of ours. We've known each other for years, like I think since the pandemic really hit.
Before the pandemic.
Before the pandemic. And Adam and I have both taken parts of your programs that you've had. I'm sure his look different than mine because, you know, different body types.
Different guts.
Different guts. I got different guts. Yeah. But one of the things that I loved working with you is, one, you're hilarious. And you have to get Megan.
So many things though.
Oh, you have to get Megan to tell you about her glorious poop stories. It's great. Yes, I said that live TV. Here we go. Okay, so
You did.
I did.
You did.
But the other thing I love about Megan is practicality, because like we're business people, we're busy, and so like eating healthy and being like healthy in our nutrition is sometimes complex because like we're like dining out a lot, right? And so your solutions that you provided were really practical to our lifestyle and achievable.
It's gotta be. How else is it gonna work? This is why fad diets don't work, right? Because they're not practical, they're not sustainable. That's why at No Shoes Nutrition we work with your lifestyle, we work with what's going on, your stress levels, your work hours, and we try to fit the food into your life that's right for your body.
And so because it's sustainable,
Right.
right? Because it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna do this for 2 weeks. It's like, no, I'm changing.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about No Shoes Nutrition, your business.
Okay, so No Shoes Nutrition came about because of my daughter's issues with her gut. And she was 6 months old, you guys. And she literally was stopped up. Nothing was going through this poor little baby. And the solution that I got, you can relate. The solution that I got was, here's some Restorelax, which is a stool softener laxative. It's not dosed for 6 month old babies, you guys. So it's either everything going right through her or nothing's going through her. So there had to be a better solution. And I had a Bachelor of Science. I was like, I'm gonna figure this out. And it came down to her nutrition. And then I decided, because I got totally hooked on gut health and bowel movement and how great it is when, everything's working. And great for everyone in the family when everything is working, that I would go back to school. So I went back to the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition and the Institute of Integrative Nutrition in New York and got obsessed with guts. And it's the root of evil, guys, your guts, yeah. And I probably love your guts more than you love your guts. So when we talk, and if I ask you about your guts, don't be weirded out. It's normal for me, yeah.
You'll talk about things with Megan that you don't talk about with your spouse.
Yeah, that's not embarrassing. Everybody does it.
She's the same place. So, well, why don't I know what makes you unique in so many ways, but why don't you tell the audience what makes you specifically unique
Me?
and your business?
Well, I mean, I come from, I come from a very large family, we'll put it that way, and not large in numbers. And so I know what it's like to have to think about what you're putting in your body all the time. And all that food noise that's coming at you all the time. And the commercials on TV and the billboards you're passing, they're all subliminal messages that you're hungry all the time. And I have had to fight that. My family has had to fight that. I know my kids are gonna have to fight that, but I'm trying to make it different. and I'm trying to make it more practical, and I'm trying to make solutions for people so that they can figure out why they're craving things.
Food noise, oh, did I lose my mic? Hello, there it is, there we go. Food noise is a term that I just recently heard. Do you want to just kind of like give everybody, like does anybody know what it means? Does everybody know what it means? It's new to me. So do you want to let people know what food noise is?
So how many people in this room just eat their meals and move on to the next meal and they don't even think about it until they're like, oh, I'm hungry, I'm gonna go eat again? Yeah, so you guys are really lucky because the rest of us, as soon as I'm done breakfast, I'm already like, oh, what's in the pantry? Maybe I should have a little snack later. Oh, what are we gonna have for dinner tonight? There's never a time in my day, except for when I'm talking to maybe, well now I'm thinking about it because I'm talking to you guys about it, but I mean, when I'm talking to my clients and things like that, I'm talking about food all day long, right? So food is on my mind, it's part of my, career,
Yeah.
but it's also, I grew up this way, where I would we would have breakfast in my house and already my dad's going, okay, so what are we taking out of the freezer for dinner tonight? And what do we have in the cupboard? And somebody's opening the pantry and trying to find a snack. Like it's just a constant interruption in your day. And nobody that deals with this knew for a very long time that other people were not thinking that way, right? And that they would just eat their meal, move on to the next meal, and not have all this distraction all day long.
And I think one of my good friends, she's a nurse, and because she's on shift work, there's a lot of food noise because you're like, 15 minutes, I gotta start this down, and then I only can eat this, and then she would have these cycles where she was off and she would like binge eat, right? Because they're so structured in their time that they could eat, so she was having a lot of like this, bad conversation around food in her head going on constantly. And I think that too, the mindset with our nutrition is a huge piece that had to change. So I think that's really cool. And so you have a special offer for everybody here tonight, and I'm super excited. I'm going to be taking one of your programs. And for those of you who don't know, my daughter was born with a tumor, and she struggles with her digestive. So we'll be working with Megan to see if we can find some other solution, because I've about had it up to here with the adult medications in my 5-year-old that we've been going on this health journey for like 4 years and not seeing any benefits. And so I'm ready to like dive in and see if there's some other way we can get results. But what offer do you have for everybody here?
Okay, so I always offer a free 30-minute consultation. And if you guys are at all interested in just having a conversation, I would love to make sure that everybody signs up for a free consultation. So that's always open. You can go to my website, noshoesnutrition.com, and sign up for that at any point. Okay, no pressure. I am just here to help you find solutions that's going to help you. Okay, so no pressure for anything there. But for anybody who's interested, thank you, Adam. He made me a QR code. Isn't it cute? So we have I put together a little book. It's called Fostering a Flourishing Gut Microbiome. So if you scan this QR code, you should be able to download this PDF and start working on your gut health. And like I said, there is a lot of root of inflammation in the gut, and so if you deal with chronic inflammation, and the other thing I just want to say is...
Wait, how will somebody know if they're dealing with chronic inflammation?
Oh, that's what I was just going to say. So there's a lot of signs and symptoms that we just deal with. That's just my normal. That's just normal. I am bloated every day at the end of the day. That's just normal for me. I haven't gone to the bathroom in like 4 days. That's just normal for me. I get a headache every day when I get home from work. That's just my normal. That's not normal, you guys. That's not normal. We don't have to live like this. So you can change just a few things and your whole day. You could be so much more productive. You could have a wonderful evening, not feel embarrassed about your, bloating and maybe some gas and things like that. A little gassy gas. We can work on that. And even weight, when you're carrying excess weight, that is a symptom, not necessarily a problem, right? Like that's a sign that something's not happening correct in your body, or you're not putting the right things into your body. So that is a symptom, not an illness. I hate it when they keep saying that this is a disease, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
It's a result.
it's a result.
And this is so interesting because I know for me, when I changed my diet, I didn't know you could eat and feel good. Like I was like, but I have all this energy and I feel great and I'm not tired and
And I'm so much more productive.
And I was like, what?
And we're talking
We
from
put up
a
with it.
productivity queen here. Like,
So speaking of that,
yeah,
we've done work together.
yes.
What did you enjoy about that?
Oh, working with Enta on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I might get a little emotional. There was a time where I think every business owner maybe goes through this. I'm hoping every business, or maybe some other ones go through this, where it's like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I here? I have no idea what I'm doing. I am really good at what I do, but I don't know how to get my message out there. I don't know how to make this work where, like we said, working smarter, not harder, right? And one of the things that Enta did for my business is took it from me working in and on my business all the time to just making it flow, making things just happen. And I just remember having conversations with you and going, okay, so what's holding you back? Like, what is stopping you? What's your biggest issue in your day? Like, what are you spending your most time on? And I was like, I don't know. Like I hadn't broken things down. I hadn't really looked at my flow of my day. I hadn't really considered technology. We're not friends, but Enta really helps with that and kind of, makes that smooth and just doable. You make it seem easy.
Oh, appreciate that.
Yeah.
And you also have your own show,
I do have a show.
right? We love our hosts. And you talk about nutrition, and you're co-host with
Robin Divine.
Yes.
It's called Barefoot Bliss and Divine Wellness.
It's so great. And so that experience has been great as well.
Oh, so fun. So fun. And I'm like not good with hearing my sound of my own voice either. Like I really don't. So, but going through, it's like just a great time to have great conversations with other people in the health industry. Please have a look us up. There's lots of good information on there, and we just really enjoy doing it. So,
All right, we'll contact Megan for health tips and stuff. The gut's so key. I can't tell you how amazing she is to work with, and her knowledge is just incredible. The practicality of it. We're busy, so it has to be practical. How can people contact you?
Email is always the best. So just Megan, easy way to spell it, MEGAN @noshoesnutrition.com. Send me an email. Check out my website, noshoesnutrition.com. Sign up for a free consultation, and let's have a conversation.
It's your gut's good.
Your gut's good. That's a good one.
Doctors taking care of me, and this wouldn't allow me to perform at my very best. Here at the world famous County Stampede, we have healthcare experts from many disciplines, including chiropractic. Every provider is here because they are an integral part of the care our athletes require to compete at the highest level. No matter what you do in life, make sure you have a complete healthcare team that includes a chiropractor. You need one just as much as I do. Go to f4cp.org/find a doctor to find a chiropractor near you.
Okay, our first speaker of the evening, as you probably guessed from the clip here, has to do with the rodeo. So, who here is a fan of the Calgary Stampede? Okay, I'm very excited to introduce our next guest here. His name is Brandon Thone. He is an experienced athletic therapist with nearly 2 decades of expertise in sports rehab and injury prevention. His career includes serving as an assistant athletic therapist at the U of A and the U of C. He's also the athletic therapist for the Abbotsford Heat in the AHL. He has played a key role in establishing Prairie Therapy, a leading Calgary multidisciplinary clinic, and he is the executive director of the Canadian Pro Rodeo Sports Medicine Team, a program he has helped develop over his 21-year career. He's worked with professional hockey, football, baseball, even Alberta Ballet. He's the guy you want to talk to if you are in sport. Please give a big round of applause for Brandon.
Appreciate
Appreciate it, Adam. So they wanted me to come and talk in this whole mind, body, soul. The mind, body, soul of rodeo. That's interesting. I've been a part of our sports medicine team for rodeo I started in 2003, so 21 years. I've been an athletic therapist for less time than that. I actually we showed cows growing up. I was a 4-H kid. I never really did rodeo, but I knew how to drive a truck and trailer. And so the guys that started our sports medicine team, they were my mentors, they were my professors. They asked me if I knew how to drive a truck and trailer. I said yes. They said, how do you want to jump into rodeo? I said, sure, why not? And I went to Grand Prairie in 2003 by myself for the first time. Our team is comprised of chiropractors, massage therapists, and athletic therapists. We have a plethora of them. There's about over 60 members. We cover over 250 performances of rodeo or bull riding a year. We do lots of schools, do lots of different things. We're trying to educate the youth on your body. We travel almost 50,000 kilometers. When we first started in 1983, Dexter Nelson and Dale Butterick, they started out of the back of a Datsun. They went to 6 different rodeos. The County Stampede was the first one, or one of the first ones. And we've been going there ever since, providing coverage. Our job is to take care of these athletes in and out of the arena, going down the road in the season. Our job and our motto is to make sure that they take care of themselves, make sure that they can get down to the next one, make sure that they don't run into that bull and get run over. And if they do, we're the ones that take care of them. They trust us. We've been around since 1983. All these athletes for us are like family. I talked to a couple of my high school buddies, but outside of that, everybody that I am now in, that are friends of mine, outside of the couple, Daryl McAfee, you'll hear him speak later. He's one of the reasons why I'm here. He's one of my good buddies now. I didn't know him before rodeo. It becomes this whole thing. That's my son on the right-hand side with the pretty hair. That's me on the left-hand side taping up a bullfighter. Brett Monty is one of my best friends now. That's my son sitting beside him. That's what these athletes mean to us as we go down the road. We want them to succeed just as much as they want to succeed. Showing the biggest thing is that it goes back lots. Ty Paulsbon in 2017 was a bull rider. He was the first ever confirmed case of CTE in a bull rider. Okay? He took his life in 2017, and since then, the entire sport has changed. Okay? These guys and girls trust the people that we bring down the road. No different than you trust your GP, or you trust your chiropractor, you trust your massage therapist. Like it says up there, the consistency in actions. Everything that we do is to make sure that they can ride, that they can get down to the next one. Outside of that, the biggest thing for us is to make sure that they have a life outside of rodeo after that. Okay? It's the mutual respect, and the biggest one for me is it's family. You go down, how many of you been to an actual, outside of the Calgary Stampede, been to a rodeo, right? Western lifestyle, right? Whether it's jumping, whether it's rodeo, whether it's, it doesn't matter. If you've ever been, you know that we talk about culture, right? It is a culture. It's not a sport. It's a sport, but it's a way of life for all these guys, right? I just saw a bull rider before I came here. Brought his wife, he brought his 3 kids. They all came to watch him train. That's the way this goes. It's their livelihood, and we're the ones that have to take care of them. Going up and down the road becomes kind of difficult when they're away from their families. Before I came in here, I saw some of these bull riders started posting their schedules so that people can see what rodeos they're going to. Jacob Gardner, one of the professional rodeo bull riders, he's out in the US right now. He will be getting on 12 bulls in 11 days over about 4 different states in the next 12 days. That's a lot. And so they're getting on, they're driving to the next one. They're getting on, they're driving to the next one. They're getting on, they're driving to the next one. Then they're going back for the short round and the other one. That takes a toll on our body. And of course, we're the ones that have to put the mess and pick up the pieces and try to get them to the next one. So I just want, when we talk about the mind, body, soul, the other piece, you can switch to that next slide for me, that would be great. Like I said before, the other piece of this is building your team, okay? Athletic therapists, chiropractors, massage therapists, that's what we travel with, but all of these athletes have other guys. They have strength and conditioning coaches now. That's new. That didn't happen before, right? They have orthopedic surgeons that we use, sports psychologists, mind, body, soul, we talk about that. You can go to the next one for me. So, I'll show you just a quick little video. If you can click on that video, if it'll load. On the left. Oh, there you go. So this is a young kid at the Canadian High School Finals, and just, I wanted to show it because this is kind of some of that stuff that we have to pick up the pieces. Interestingly enough, he was in a halo, that's him on the right-hand side. He now competes at a college in Montana. So here's the resiliency. Here's the resiliency piece. That kid didn't grow up in the Western way of life. Whoever wants to put their kids in bareback riding, it's insanity to me, but that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to be a bareback rider. It was 4 years ago. That's how he got injured. He was in a halo, he came back, we rehabbed him, and now he's competing in college in Montana. Earned a full ride scholarship. Okay? How does that pertain to us in this room, right? You guys aren't going to be getting on a bareback horse, you're not going to be getting on a bull, or maybe you can, I could arrange it if I got some friends, I'm sure Daryl we could arrange that. How does this pertain to you guys sitting in this room? I actually work at another clinic called Acumen Health outside of the sport medicine team. We see lots of joint replacements. Okay, so today I saw a lady that had a knee replacement, and the next person I saw was a professional bull rider, back to back. Okay, you wonder, well, what's the difference? Well, Darcy, back in the back, he just had a hip replacement. He wants to get back to hiking, maybe. Not the one to do it, right? So, that bull rider sustained a torn ACL. What's the difference between those two pictures when it comes to wanting to get back to activity? Absolutely zero for us. I want you to get back to hiking just the same as that guy. I want to get that guy back to getting on the bull. We treat you exactly the same. It doesn't matter, right? You're going to put together your team. Maybe your team is athletic therapist, physiotherapist, chiropractor, whatever it might be. My biggest take home with all of this stuff when it comes to injuries and how you're going to relate it to you is seek out the care. I know our AHS is really difficult these days. I get it. I understand. But there are other places. There are other things. You have to be able to build your team like the one on the right. The one on the right, we try to build a team that can take care of these guys that don't make a lot of money, right? That team that we have in the Canadian Pro Sport Medicine team is like the medical team for the Calgary Flames, except we're not taking care of multi-billion-dollar athletes. We're taking care of athletes that have to pay to play. And so, moving through the entire injury process, all of those people that you see up there, it's no different than in your business. Every bit, it's like building your team in business is no different than building your team in health, right? You have all your mentors, you have all these people that are helping you build your business, right? And to solutions, they're helping you build your business, right? You've got to be able to set yourself up for success by putting those pieces in place to help you, right? Nobody else is going to do it for you. We know that our Alberta healthcare system isn't going to help you as much as they should. So you have to do it yourself. Your family, your friends, your therapists, right? All those types of people, put in your corner. It's the way to get the best care that you can. Okay? The last little thing is I have a little video that I just wanted to share. It shows you a couple of things about how important this team of ours is to these cowboys and cowgirls. And if it does take a lot of money to get down the road for us, we're a totally not-for-profit entity. Our volunteer, we have a board of directors, it's all volunteer-based. And the biggest thing for us is we just want to continue to help these kids, help these guys, help these professional athletes that pay to play. We want to continue to see them long into their careers. And most importantly, we want them to be able to put on a show for you guys that like the Calgary Stampede.
Working on the Canadian Pro Rodeo Sport Medicine team. It has taken me all over the place. I've been to rodeos everywhere through BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and I just love getting to help all of our athletes make sure that they can compete at the best level possible.
I love helping people. Like, I truly feel like this is what I was meant to do, and rodeo is kind of what I grew up doing and loving, and so being able to combine those two and get them working together and help the people that grew up with me and that type of stuff is really nice.
The sports medicine here in Calgary is amazing. They really care about the rodeo athletes. They want everybody to perform to their best of their ability. So they're here on standby. They're literally churning guys out, from bareback riders to steer wrestlers to bull riders, constantly moving guys around, getting them worked on, chiropractic, massage. Then they supply the tape that we need to put ourselves together, basically. So when you show up and you know you got a helping hand, it sure makes the job a lot easier.
Working in a multidisciplinary team gives our athletes the best chance at competing to the best of their abilities. We can collaborate on different injuries and we all have different backgrounds, so being able to share that information is invaluable.
The services are so essential, we've said that, but you know, it's the quality. They're the best of the best, in my opinion. And it's very comforting to know that you can have somebody of that quality work on you. It's essential for rodeo.
Once you get into the injury mechanism, I think chiropractic has a phenomenal skill set, couples well with our medical management. When we get into some of the unstable or crisis management, our athletic therapist can go in, maybe stabilize with some tape, some stretching, some mechanisms. Our massage therapist can get in there muscular. And then of course, we have our catastrophic side with our sport med surgeons, ER physicians, which we're hoping they always have boring days.
To me, the sports medicine team is part of my team that I rely on to be successful in this industry, and I'm really grateful for them.
Try to take advantage of much of the self-care that I can down here at Calgary with the sports medicine, chiropractic, massage, really anything that can help me perform and get better. And I'm so thankful that all these guys are here to provide the service.
I'm nervous about a rodeo that doesn't have a team like ours to be able to handle injuries, to make sure that individual can heal properly, and to get back to a competitive setting. That's what gets me out of bed every time. That's what puts me in the truck. That's why I'm going to keep going to rodeo.
We do work with the Alberta High School Rodeo Association to provide education so that they take care of their bodies right from day one.
So we're talking Little Tex Rodeo High School. We want to be able to educate them on the potentials of injuries, how to recover from them, how to be able to compete at their highest level. And so for us, it's getting into the youth rodeo. That's where the future is. That's where the future will be bright.
The money that we utilize and that we need doesn't come to our practitioners. It goes right back into the sport medicine team to help support the Cowboys so that we can keep the Western lifestyle alive and thriving.
If you're interested in volunteering or donating, please reach out today.
Thanks for listening to our story.
Thank you very much, Brandon.
That's so important because earlier this summer, I had my pelvic bone slip out of place. That's fun for anybody who's had children and your bones don't stay in place anymore. But I had to get chiropractic support to get put back into position, because otherwise I'd be facilitating and sneeze and pee my pants, which is always great. You can't run a business if you can't get up and do what you need to do. So I totally believe in getting the support and the teams that you need around you so your body can be in place, put together, so you can show up the best you can for your business. So you don't pee your pants.
Well, and I don't know about you, but I was watching that clip of that high school kid like, riding the bull. And I grew up in Calgary, so I'm used to the Stampede. My in-laws are chuck wagon racers. Like, I'm kind of ingrained into the culture, but I look at that and I'm like, that is insane. I would never, you couldn't pay me enough to go hop on a horse or a bull or whatever.
But you'll fight Finn.
Yeah, granted, I'll go fight Robin and I'll have a great time doing it. But I think, you know, the next slide, he had a list of like 20 things that rider needs to keep him moving forward to his dreams or her dreams, right? So business is no different, or if it's not business, if it's your relationships, or if it's something you want to do to give back to the community, or some cause that you're advocating for, I think it's really powerful to take a moment, pause, because we're always like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? What's the next thing? Where do I need to go next? Who do I need to talk to? But like, who do you need on your team to help you get there? I think that is a really interesting question. If you stop and think about it for a moment, you might find, upon reflection, that maybe there are some gaps there. Maybe there are some people you need. So here we have a room full of almost 100 people. Maybe there's someone here you need on your team. That's why we do this type of thing. That's why I was so excited that he's going to come up here and talk about rodeo, because it's crazy to me. I love meeting people, and I live that rodeo lifestyle.
I feel like that is business, right? You just keep getting back up on that bull. You get bumped up and you get back up on it again.
I know, and you're like running to the bull. You're like, I want back on.
We have something exciting to share tonight.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So this is super cool, and I'm super jealous. I have a video to show you here in a second from our partner Bruno Lindia and his partner Miranda, and they're from Megapix Media. And who is Megapix Media, you ask? Well, they're the ones that own YYC Business and 13 other platforms and cities across Canada. So they're the ones that have that large network. They have the platform. They're our partners. And I'll just play a clip here, and then we can talk about it after. Okay, we're recording. Have at her.
Okay, here we go. Hey everybody, it's Bruno and Miranda. Hi. And we are at Super Bowl. Sorry we can't make it to the Power Network group tonight. But one thing we're not going to be missing, and that is
The snow.
and the gold. So thank you very much. We've got some interesting people here today.
Yeah, it's been wild.
Yeah. So you guys have a great time, and miss you guys. See you guys next time.
Sorry, we're gonna miss it. Have fun.
Little message from Bruno and Miranda.
Well, and you can see by my face how excited I am, because they're not just at Super Bowl, they were invited down to the press box in the backstage at Super Bowl as a media representative here in Canada. So that is a huge, exciting deal that they're down there. And Bruno texted us earlier.
Oh my God!
And, okay, I'm killing myself because he invited me down to go with him. He's like, you can even stay in my room, you can be backstage, you can meet everybody, and I was like, my wife will kill me, I can't do it. But he just texted us a picture of him with who?
I am so jealous. It's on my bucket list. He just met Gary Vaynerchuk. And I was like, he texted us a picture of him and Gary. I'm like, oh. But I mean, you guys are also great, so we're super excited.
But, you know, I joke, but seriously, that was me. I was like, Bruno, it is that important to me that I be here and that we put on this event and that we tell your guys' stories so that you have a chance to get up here and realize it's your dream, so that's why we're here. So we have a story of our own about how we got into this crazy business. I'm going to just let Caitlin tell it.
Right. 5-minute monologue. Go. No, so it was the pandemic, right? Entis Solutions at that time was me and Adam, and we lost 90% of our contracts. Everything got canceled and closed down. And as engineers, what did we do? We created an Excel sheet to calculate how long we had until we could no longer pay our mortgages, and he had to face Misty, and I would have to face my husband Doug.
I believe the exact phrasing was, "We're so fucked."
Lime. Yes, we were. And I would be more upset for Adam facing Misty because she's a world champion Muay Thai fighter. So, yon. This partnership only goes so far. So we did that calculation. We had 3 months. 3 months before we had to go to our spouses and be like, we can't pay mortgage. We can't make bills. That's it. And so we actually did everything we could to learn about social media, video, digital marketing to save our business. In 3 months, we saved our business. In 6 months, we blew projections. And then Ent has been growing ever since. And you know, we had clients come to us and be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you know, teach us. Okay, so we would teach them how to do it. They'd be like, wow, that's great. I don't want to do that. Right? And so then like, do it for us. And so we're like, dude, why are we doing this? What is, and we really realize that it's just digital relationships. Like, you're building a network online. When you're on social media, it's about connection, right? It's about connecting with other people, and that's where our sweet spot was people in process. And so we people in process the social media side of things to really build connection, and it has taken off ever since. And you heard Finley come up and say like, oh, it wasn't really comfortable in front of a camera. But he got comfortable in front of a camera. And I think if we look back to our first 40, 50 episodes, like, they're cringy. Like, you're like, oh God, well, I didn't even know what I was doing then. But there's something so beautiful in that authenticity of being who you were. And as businesses, we can't be a secret and a success all at the same time. And so it was really crucial for us to get partnered up, and that's how we met YYC. Greg, you and Bruno contacted us like, hey, you guys want a show on our platform? We're like, yeah, we do. And I mean, that show has been huge for the success of Entis Solutions, and so being able to get your message out there is so important. So I highly recommend talking to Greg, and if that's something that you need in your business, because I know that.
Kayla, we wanted you. How do we work to serve them?
Oh, yeah, well, we're a package deal. Sorry. That I will stand by. No, but there's huge statistics on video conversion because it's about connection.
Yeah, I mean, Greg is the king of statistics, but some here, video advertising spending in the US has doubled in the last 3 years. 96% of people turn to videos to learn more about products or service, and online videos have an audience reach of 92% worldwide. I can go on, there's way more. But I think the moral of the story here is, what buttons do you have in front of you, in your pocket, that you can push on to grow your business right now? It doesn't have to be crazy professionally produced. Our videos when we started were like phone up here like, oh my God, we are thinking of trying this. We're not sure if it's going to work, but we're going to try it. We're going to talk about it. We called up our competitors and we interviewed them and said, what are you guys doing? Right? What does remote work mean for you? Blah, blah, blah. And we put out interviews. We did all that kind of stuff. Then we started calling business owners and interviewing them. And all of a sudden we met all these people and people knew who we were. And then people sent people to us. That's all it was. There's no magic.
My favorite is when people are like, tell Caitlin I say hi. And they're like, oh, you know Caitlin? No, but I saw her video.
Right? It's totally true, right? They definitely want to talk to Caitlin because I'll go meet them. Like, where's Caitlin? Where's the one in the video that's like so bubbly?
But you know what it is? I think it is creating really authentic connection, right? And so we talk about mind, body, soul. You have got to know, you've got to be in your sweet spot to show up, go on camera, and create that connection with an audience that might watch you a month from now, right? Or a week from now. And then they watch you and they build these layers of trust. And this is what, I'm gonna tell you the secret sauce, this is it. You put your profile picture on LinkedIn, they see your face, they're like, I know you. I know you from somewhere. I've seen you before, right? We just did this. Like, I know you. We're in the same circles. And then you put a video out, they see you again. And then they learn a little bit about you, and they're connected. And it is literally all about connection. And so as soon as you have that connection, you've just expedited it with video. And I think that's a huge value add to your business and to moving forward in the relationships, whether it's work or whether you're a leader or in your team, whether it's internal or external, using that video. And we have other podcast company back there, their local guys, give a wave. So they understand that video is so important as well for driving your business. Yeah, go talk to Layla as well. She's amazing.
Okay, we're gonna have one more interview before we have a break. You guys have a chance to chat and network with each other. But I have a bit of a story about this one. So one day my phone rings and it's my mom. And my mom's like, I'm buying you a suit. And I was like, why? I have a suit. She's like, I'm buying you a suit. So you need to go to this place. So I search around online and I find this company and it looks just super cool. So I go down there and I meet the owner and I walk in there and it's a small store, it's in Bankers Hall, and it's so cool because A, he's the best dressed person basically in the universe, and two, I got this really authentic experience. He made me feel like $1 million, and this is the suit that my mom bought me. I'm wearing it right now.
You look like $1 million. And for those of you who don't know, like Misty dresses Adam, so like without his mom and Misty, we wouldn't want to know. It'd be a Star Wars sweater, let's be honest.
I have been sent back to my room before. It's a change. So I want to invite Matthew Eaton up here. Matthew is the creative force behind World of Vici. So he is an ex-hockey player, and now he crafts elegant attire. Like, look at this guy. This is cool. I show them away. He presents his collections on the runways in New York's Fashion Week. Like I said, he's based in Bankers Hall. A lot of sports and high-end fashion. So he has dressed the Canada Olympic team, the Calgary Flames. He collaborates with the Alberta Boot Company, and beyond the sports, you can see him on red carpets, NHL pre-games, and to him, each piece is a story created with care and dedication, personalized to you. Like I said, it's about the experience, right? So he's more than just a designer, he's an artist, and I can attend to that. So let's give a big round of applause for Matthew Eaton. Okay, cool. All right, Matt, tell me a little bit. I kind of painted the picture a little bit about your place, World of Vici, but tell me the story. How did you get there?
I guess the quickest way to say it is I'm living a dream I didn't know I had. So, started design from a young age when my mom would pattern my Halloween costumes, and I was lucky enough, to watch her and grow from her, and I guess that's where I got the bug. Always wanted to be an athlete, which didn't pan out for a number of reasons. But from there, I guess when anyone finds their lane in life, everything becomes easy. If you're lazy, you become a hard worker. If you're focused on something that you're truly passionate about, numbers don't matter. You don't count the hours, you don't count the dollars. You just tend to just focus on that. And I guess 12 years later, that's part of my success.
Well, and you know, when I went to see Matthew at the World of Vici, I booked the appointment. I came in. It was like I had this whole store to myself, and he had this book of fabrics, right? So I had to pick like my style, pick my color, and he's like, "Well, what color do you want?" I'm like, "Oh, I kind of thinking of like a bluish something. Like I have a black one." And there's this giant book, and it's really intimidating because there's like 57 shades of blue. And And I'm flipping through, I'm like, I don't know, this one looks pretty good. And Matt's like, yeah, that's pretty good, but have you tried, have you tried this one? Like, what do you think of this one? He kind of like, very subtly, like, took me by the hand and made me think that it was my idea to get this going.
Some people looks great on it. Yeah, I think when men or women come in and see me, it's important to have an opinion because as a clothing designer, I get to make whatever I want for myself. But some of my favorite pieces that I own are gifts from friends and family that just thought of me. So when clients come in and see me or my staff, it's important to kind of like see where you're at, gauge you, but then push you slightly out of your comfort zone, which I guess you experience with Shock Blue, which we're in today. Yeah, I guess less is more with a lot of people. So when anyone comes into my store or sees any of people that work with us, it's not so much about like floating through a million fabrics and hurting yourself and wondering if you made a mistake. It's more about getting to know you, your eye color, your skin tone, and then working backwards from there, making sure that you're comfortable in that regard. So I'm lucky that I'm not monetary motivated. I'm more experience motivated. So I want everyone to feel well. Or whether that be professional athletes, which are cool to talk about, actors or actresses. I guess they're all actors now. I've used some stuff for Chuck Wagon racers in the Western wear. So I do Chance Vegan's, all his outfits through all his Chuck Wagon races, which has been kind of cool to do the Western side. So truthfully, I just don't say no and try to find a way to solve problems for people that, are clothing based.
Well, and you got a little bit of everything there. And by the way, I'm gonna send my class to go see you. But like golf shoes, you were showing me golf shoes because I was telling like, oh, I came from a golf game and I was dressed in like a golf shirt and shorts. Oh, well, you need these shoes.
You don't need them, but yeah. Anything that inspires me, that clients like. I'm gonna have a golfer, Western wear, cowboy boots to loafers. Kind of always want to just be able to say yes and develop them, and have the manufacturing in Italy and Spain and the brain to listen to somebody and then create what they want.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm not wearing it tonight, but I bought custom-made shirts as well. This bamboo, it's like this soft bamboo material. Has anyone tried like a bamboo shirt? Anybody? No? Not even Stan? No? Oh, you haven't lived, man. This stuff is amazing. Like, I honestly, I will never buy another shirt that's not from this guy again. The suits, everything, the experience, because I go in there and I feel confident. I feel like I can leave there and I can stand in front of the CEO of a big corporation and talk to him like I'm making a deal. I feel as though I have the confidence to make a video and be proud and tell people this is what I do and this is how I can help you. And as a business owner, we talked a little bit here about like physical health, but like mental health, the mindset, that's the big thing. If something like a suit or what you're wearing can help get you into the game face, and that's all you need. So, Matthew, last question for you here before we go on. We've just started working together in this fashion. This is your first event. What are your impressions of it so far?
Well, started meeting a bunch of people, or looking at a bunch of people that I've never seen before, which is intimidating and nice, I guess, at the same point. For me, I don't get out of my comfort zone too much, don't advertise. Everyone that comes into our store kind of knows who we are and what we're about. So to push yourself out into a different, I guess, realm where you might have to like earn trust or show that what you do is well. It's kind of intimidating for me to look at you guys and say hi and that I do a good job, but I guess my motto is no matter what project I do, no matter how high profile, whether it be Bruce Springsteen or Jack Harlow or like some like big name people that some people might know, some people might not. You just treat everyone the same, and you're trying to get the best out of each person, which means what makes them comfortable. When I first started designing, it's all runway, and you want them to look sharp standing up. And you know, a lot of people drive an F450, and they need a little bit more room in their thigh to get up and feel comfortable in their suit, or sit at their desk all day. So I would guess I'll switch gears in the fact that perfect can be different for everybody. We're just trying to give everyone a chance for us to get to that perfect.
I love that. Well, if you haven't already, go see Matt and Garrett. They've got some sample suits on the side there. You can check it out. You pull out your phone, you can book free consults, no obligation. You can go check out the store. You can kind of see what's what. And I believe you also have an offer for anybody here tonight as well.
Yeah, so I've never been on sale, but I guess if you book in with us on Q-Card, we're going to give you 10% off. It's not about money for me. I just want to, grow our business organically. So if you come in with a number, if I don't lose money, I just want to make sure that I can work with people and be happy.
All right. Well, now's your chance. If you think about it, if you want to look good, if you thought maybe this is something you want to check out, now's your chance. Pull out your phone, check with Matt, or talk to him at the break. And everybody, please give a hand for Matt for being up here.
Good job. I'm excited because I'm gonna get a vest. If you haven't noticed, I don't wear sleeves. So a vest I think would be perfect for me. And I haven't yet to find a jacket that I feel good in. So maybe I just need to go and have an experience. Maybe there's a jacket for me.
Change your life.
It'll change my life. I like that.
Okay, we're going to take a 30-minute break here, so we get a chance to mingle with people. We are here to network after all. So if you want to stand up, look around the room, find somebody you don't know, you've never met before, walk over, introduce yourself. Check out Matt over there, check out some snacks, enjoy the break. to you. If you want to take a foray into the world of writing and maybe contribute a chapter, you can sign up at our booth over there. There's a QR code. Just scan it, put your name on there, and get on the list because we're going to launch edition 2 later this year. So, thank you.
Excellent. And so we're ready for our next speaker. We're going to invite up Daryl Mekabina. Daryl is the president and founder. Yeah, round of applause. Come on, Daryl.
Episode is brought to you by Performance Rates Management and Dream Reach Achieve, and we're going to have a great time because our thumbnail says getting it there. And I'm here with Daryl Mekabina. Daryl, what are we talking about? Getting it there. You get stuff across the world.
Yeah, so we do all kinds of shipping from small envelopes to big rigs. One of the most amazing shipments that we were involved with was getting a shipment that was a 30-foot treadmill out of Barrie, Ontario, 8 feet wide. It was about 36 inches high, had a 60 horsepower engine on it. It was about 12 pounds.
Awesome. All right, Daryl is the president and founder of Performance Freight Management and visionary behind the RTR Ranch Retreat, which you've got to hear about. It's very cool. Daryl is a passionate advocate for mental health and personal development, dedicating to organizing educational events to raise awareness and provide support to those who need. With a background as a former professional bull rider, that's a real belt, right? It's not the fake belt buckle. Daryl's love for the Western lifestyle drives his commitment to giving back to the rodeo community. As a board member of the Canadian Pro Rodeo Sports Medicine Team, he supports the well-being of athletes in sport. He also founded Western Lifestyle Foundation and creates opportunities for youth in rodeo, inspiring the next generation of riders. Daryl's leadership, philanthropy, and passion are complemented by the amazing support of his family, his wife Amanda, and their children, Lincoln, Kiara, Haley, and Brooke. Please welcome Daryl. I need to get Daryl on mic.
I do this by myself?
No.
You need some guidance.
I just wasn't going to make you yell.
Okay.
Is that okay? All right, Daryl, why don't you tell me a little bit about your business?
Performance Rate Management's a company that does supply chain management and third-party logistics. We ship everything from envelopes to big rigs, kind of like that video says. We basically come up with a key solution for every shipment. I've got a great team that pretty much can manage everything from air, ocean, road, hot shots. So we take a lot of pride in what we do. I really appreciated Matthew's story with the suit company. We're pretty much the similar kind of parallel of his business line as well. We really focus on solutions for customers in the freight side of things. So basically one of the key things that we do is we take every shipment that you've ever had. So if you've got a small box and you're trying to move it from point A to point B, we're key on tracking, tracing, but we actually talk to the people that actually move the freight. So we're physically calling the people and individuals, trying to track and make sure that it shows up on time. So my team take a lot of passion in knowing what the freight is. And so that treadmill, I had to physically install this treadmill because my friend and business owner that was running this movie operation basically took this treadmill and said, hey Daryl, we need to get this thing in the Calgary Film Center, and then we got to get it out to this wolf sanctuary. And so part of that passion is that I could just order a truck, pick it up, and hope it gets there. But I physically followed the truck there because I wanted to make sure it got there on time. And when we got there, there was no one there but me and the wolves. So we're like, okay, what do we do? I happened to set it up the previous time, so I was able to get out of the truck, get some tools. We took this thing off, 30-foot deck, put it on the ground, got it installed into this area so that these wolves could get trained for the HBO special Game of Thrones. I didn't even know what I was doing it for. I just knew I was doing something. And producers stood beside me and said, hey, you're doing shipping for us. Hey, you know what show you're working on? I said, no, I have no idea. And they said, Game of Thrones. And I'm like, okay, I still don't know what that means. But then I started to get, I was more ingrained in the shipping. I wasn't ingrained in what I was doing it for. And that was kind of how my company started in 2010, is that a lot of people have challenges with freight, transportation, and warehousing. And you know, there's companies out there that give you information that it's still in transit. We're going to give you more information than it's still in transit. We may get ahead of the bad news and tell you the bad news, but we're going to get ahead of it so it prevents that. And so that's what my foundation is set with my team, is that we're just so truly dedicated to coming up with transparency, honesty, and trust in all your activity, whether it's warehousing, distribution, or transportation. And I think, as my wife said it, what's different about us is our culture. Most of my customers are my friends. And that's why I say, oh, my friend, you know, he's told me to hook it up or whatever. And we do truly have a culture that has that. I want to respect who I work with, and I want to enjoy who I work with, so, yeah.
Well, I can speak to that, because first time I met you, I didn't realize that I had created a problem for myself, which was in shipment. So in my innovation, I created an ultimate team challenge, team building in a box. And I was like, well, I want it to be like really tangible. There's going to be like a Da Vinci cryptex in there and everything. And then I put it all together, and then this thing weighs a ton. And I'm like, how am I going to ship this? And so I ran into you, and you know, I just mentioned it, and you solved my problem right away. And your team was like so responsive in contacting us and being able to come up with a solution on how we could actually take that product to market. Because I mean, I was all about creating it, and then I didn't really think about the logistics of it. And I think that happens to business owners. Oh, I'm going to do this, and then then you realize that your shipping costs are more than your product costs, and what do you do then? And so, just being able to have your team solve that problem, and like in so fast, you know, it was just an amazing experience having that support. And now we're looking, okay, now how do we scale this up, right? And so it was really great, for sure. You talked about what makes you unique is your culture. And you and I talked about this. You do a lot of team building as well with your team. What is one thing that you've taken from Rodeo mindset-wise that you apply in your business?
Oh, it's the family. You know, Rodeo's full-on family. I got lots of family in this room right now. When I focus on my team, it doesn't matter what team it is, it's PFM, Performance Rate Management, or it was my wife's partnership idea on the RTR to make sure they rewrote that wrong. But our visionary, you know, anytime we're doing something, it's all about the family. And so, you know, if I can engage in team building and activities, you know, one of the most unique team buildings that we do every year, we call it the Performance Rate Management Team Summit, and it's the Customer Appreciation and Employee Appreciation Night. We spend 2 days prior to our appreciation night just trying to understand what's the most crucial thing that we got to improve on in our personal platform. What are we going to transform ourselves this year, right? Because every year is different, but what are we going to transform ourselves in this year? And I think the leadership and the growth of that is so vital that we all understand it. But the key in leadership for me, it's not my idea of what we need to grow. I always talk to my teams and say, what do we need to do individually? So what are you trying to do? If I'm asking you to be a tracking and tracing specialist, and you go, this sucks. Why did you put me in this position? But you're the right person on the bus. That's just the wrong position. We've got to grow that individual into what they want to do and what their passion is. Their passion might not be freight. It might not be a tracking and tracing specialist. So that's how we try and develop our team building, is around that. What are your habits? What are your goals? Let's try and either break those habits and strive for those goals.
I love that, because I have a mic, I'm going off script. You're a big advocate of mental health. And so how does mental health play into the success of the business?
Yeah, I mean, mental health is crucial. I talk about this a lot, share a lot of my internal challenges with mental health, but the biggest one is, you know, like my company's had a lot of big challenges and problems, and we're talking, you know, we all got challenges, but we had some severe challenges. When I looked at our challenges and went, man, I'm not the only guy that has challenges. How can I help through my testimony of what I went through and my wife and my family went through? How can I help those others? And so that was really my movement to get out there. I'm not doing it to raise money. I'm not doing it to try and create a foundation. What I do is I'm like, I could probably share my testimony and get men and women together to go through this. And in business, we do monthly mental health performance. So I work out and do fitness, but we don't do a lot of mental health training. So I came up with an idea with a good friend of mine, Brett Gardner, that runs a mental health performance operation called Momentous Performance. And we said, we need to train performance and mental. Let's do this monthly, because I know what I'm going through daily. And we only have enough time for monthly, but the mental health portion to grow my business has been so vital for one thing only. It gives the people permission to talk about their feelings. I feel like I'm going to cry right now, and I'm okay to do that. I'm okay to do that. Okay? I am really okay to do that. I feel good about it. I've done it multiple times in a lot of keynote speaker events, but that's what I'm trying to drive towards. It's okay to have the permission to cry. It's okay to have the permission to call me and say, Daryl, I've got a problem and I'm going to tell you all about it. I'm here to listen.
I love that. It's so important. And us who know in business, it is a mental health journey. You can't own a company and not go through hard times. You can't own a company and not struggle. And most of us do it alone. I'm so blessed to have a business partner that does keep me sane. And checks me at the door every once in a while, so I don't get too crazy. But you need to have that, and we need to have that conversation, because it is such a struggle in business. We come up against so many obstacles, and you have to build that resiliency, and it's hard to do alone. So thank you for that. It's amazing. What special offer do you have for everyone here tonight?
Well, my great wife, Amanda, and my great team, Shauna and Shelly, are over there. We've got a $100 gift certificate we will provide you tonight on any shipment that you want to work through performance rate management. As well, we'll give you a free, and I've talked to a couple of you already, but I do great freight analysis, and what that means is that I'll sit down, no different than I did with you. I'll sit down with you and just talk to you about your logistics, your supply chain, your distribution, your where. I don't care what it is. We'll come up with a solution. We'll either give you the best for consolidation and optimization in your business, or we'll just give you an idea and say, you know what you're doing right now is great. Keep doing it.
Beautiful. That's amazing. And we just started working together within the last few months. What has that experience been like for you?
Well, they get me up doing this, so this is great, right? Because this isn't my, I didn't go to school for this stuff. But this is a comfort zone that I had to get comfortable with, so I was uncomfortable. That's great. The ability to do these podcast videos, I've had a lot of compliments on these videos that was very uncomfortable. We did a lot of them, and as some of the other speakers said, it's hard to talk, right? You don't know I hate my voice. But I've got a lot of, I would say, traction out of those. And the other thing is that you guys are great at telling people what we do. So I get phone calls all the time. Like, I just met one gentleman today. He has a record producing company. Greg and Bruno and everyone has been talking about me, and we shared our information. It's great. And I have 2 more that I just got last week. So it says Power Networking Group. That's what it is, for sure.
And I think that is the power of it. It's not, oh, I met this person and we're going to do business together, but I met this person and that person needs to meet this person, right? And that's what it's about. It's about making the connections even when there's nothing in it for you, right? And connecting those people so that business succeeds here, so that our local economy succeeds here. And it's just been a pleasure working with you, Daryl, and this is exactly what the Power Network Group is all about, so thank you.
Well, thank you guys.
Excellent.
Okay.
None for you. You're cut off. You want the other one? I turned it off, so you're gonna have to turn it back on. You guys, there's lots of seats here. I get it if you want to stand. I love standing in these 6-inch heels all day long, so.
Okay, before we bring out the last speaker of the night, who I'm super excited about, I got a quick little aside. So Caitlin talked about the Power Network Group, and all this is all about is providing networking, making connections and introductions, and we're trying to introduce Daryl to this person and Megan to that person, and we're just relentlessly trying to do that. So our good friend Bruno, who's down at Super Bowl, what he does behind the scenes is try to take this to the next level online. So we got this new exciting thing called Shop Club. The sirens going by, must be exciting. So basically, if you go onto the YYC Business website, what it is you put your deals on here. So you can have special offers, free consults, whatever. YYC Business is getting 6-figure views every month. So for example, if you go in here and search for professional services, I'm going to bring up Bruno's example here. So I'm going to click here, and we're going to go to business training, coaching, and check it out. There you see Dream Reach Achieve. That's Bruno's company. And if I click on Dream Reach Achieve, look at that, 2 for 1. That's a $4,000 training course. 2 for 1, $4,000 value. Anyone here want to learn more about sales? There you go. So it's pretty easy. It's free not only to join and to access all these deals, all this kind of stuff. All you got to do is sign up as a member. So there's a QR code you can scan. You can just sign up and you can peruse the deals. If you have a business and you want to put your deal on here, no problem. Just the same thing. Sign up. We'll meet with you, onboard you, we'll put your deal on there, there's no charge to it. It's basically Groupon, but we don't take any money for it. Whereas Groupon will take like half of it.
50%.
Right?
Plus you have to give an exorbitant amount of deals. So it's a great way to get your business out of business.
Yeah. So again, all you gotta do is subscribe, you can check out the deals, and if you want your offer on there, again, scan that, put your name on there. We will host a little group session. We'll show you how to get it on there. We'll show you how to get your deal on there. Why not? You got nothing to lose. You came right down here. It's free. Why not put your stuff out there? And again, another place we're trying to add value. So there you go. That's the Shop Club. Thank you, everybody.
Our last speaker.
All right. We're going to play a quick video before I introduce these two jokers. All right, we'll play it at the end. Okay. Gonna bring up here Sheldon and Randy. Where are you guys? Come on up here.
Yeah.
If you don't recognize these guys had a radio show for many years called The Ride. They recently started up again. Sheldon, he was from Saskatchewan. He played college ball with the Iowa State Cyclones, 8 seasons with the in the CFL with the Rough Riders and the Stamps. Western All-Star winner and Tom Payton nominee. Now he's got a drone real estate company and of course co-hosts The Ride with Randy. Randy, also 16-year former professional football player, both the NFL and CFL, 3-time Grey Cup champion. Was also awarded the Tom Payton Memorial Trophy in 2014 for sportsmanship and dedication to his community. He's a keynote speaker. These guys are so involved with the community. They're so involved with their family. And they're really entertaining to boot. So please give it a hand for Randy, Sheldon, and The Ride.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone. And you know, don't worry about it because the video not working is kind of par for the course with us. And clearly, those who left never heard of the concept of saving the best for last. Can you hear me? Does this work? There you go, better.
What number you got? What number you got now? Here, this one. 3.
That or the
3.
Right to you guys. Very good. That or they've heard the show before and they knew what was coming and they took some good advice and got out early. But anyway.
Well, if they left early, they wouldn't see the only thing that I had planned. Because, you know, Sheldon and I, we have the show. We go live every week at 10:30 p.m. if anyone's interested. It's kind of late, but it's the only time that we have to do a live show. We do that on purpose because we have a small but loyal following that, you know, before they go to bed at night, it's like a friendly show, and we talk about sports and life and just a little bit about everything. But we typically don't have a plan. But tonight I planned one thing. So I'm going to ask you a question, and you won't know the answer to this. It's what does a banana and a pair of underwear, they're clean. I brought Sheldon's like, you should have brought a new pair. I was like, well, I didn't have time to go buy a new pair. So a pair of underwear that are clean and a banana, what do they have to do with us being here? And we'll tell you about that in a little bit. When Adam asked us to come here and talk to a group of entrepreneurs about mental health and resilience. It's like, geez, like, I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm a firefighter with the city of Calgary. I got a pretty great job. I'm a community safety officer. It's pretty steady, pretty secure. I do my job, I go home, it's good, but I realized I was actually an entrepreneur my entire life. When I played professional football and I decided to bet on myself, like many of you have, I was in a stage of life where everyone was telling me to do something else. I was a young guy, I was going to school, mom and dad had a plan, maybe I had a plan, but I loved the thing I did for fun. I loved the thing that I believe it was Matt that said, that thing that you could be the lazy guy, you could be the unmotivated guy, but that thing lights up. And that was football. And I only started playing football at the age of 19, so I didn't even know that that thing existed when I was a kid. And all of a sudden I'm like, Mom, my mom's Italian, Mom, I'm going to become a football player. She's like, you're 18, 19 years old, go get a job. Like, that's what we do. And so when that happened, I had to silence the noise. I had to be so involved in this thing I love because I knew at that point the only person that was going to make it happen was me. And very much like many of you in the room, I went through many ups and downs. You wake up in the morning and the first person that tells you you can't make it is not mom or dad. It's you. When you look in the mirror. You look in the mirror and you're like, I'm going to the NFL. I don't need to hear everyone else's opinion to know what I just told myself is the most impossible thing to do in 2001 when YouTube didn't exist, the internet was barely getting off the ground, and social media was not a thing. And I was a kid that went to school in Canada. But you have to convince that person, and then you have to go out and convince everyone else that you're going to be that person you dream about. And so it was tough. It was tough, but we only have 15 minutes. And that was the big anxiety for us is not standing in front of you. It's figuring out how to compress this, which is normally a back and forth, into two people. So I'll make it quick and short. What I realized, and what I'm sure many of you realize, is once you get that idea off the ground and you secure some financing, you secure some partnerships, some backups, and you're like, I'm going to do this. The first thing that typically happens is you get slapped in the face. I went to McGill University, great school, known for producing doctors, lawyers, politicians, and teachers, but not football players. And I get drafted to the NFL. The accumulation of about 5 years of dreaming. Because I only started at 19. I didn't dream of being an athlete or a football player until then. And I made it to the NFL. I'm like, yes, I made it. I trained so hard. And there's a whole story there we're not going to get into. And the first speech I got, I was sitting in an auditorium in Jacksonville, Florida. I was just drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the first speech, the coach had a microphone like this. He said, welcome to the NFL, gentlemen. From this day forward, we are trying to replace you. I was a 7th round draft pick. I just got a $15,000 check, the most money I've ever seen in my life. It's like, I made it. All that work. And now they're trying to replace me. And that burned into my skull for the 16 years that I played football. And so many ups and downs, like so many of you. Some of you have successful businesses, some of you just getting off the ground, so many different phases. But our struggles as entrepreneurs, I'm not selling anything, but as someone who believed in myself and believes in myself, is to wake up every day, convince the person in the mirror and then everyone around them that they can do the thing they are setting forward and stepping towards. And it was tough. But then you have to reinvent yourself, right?
Yeah, because that's the thing. I mean, it is a kid's game, and you never work a day in your life when you're doing what you absolutely love. But the thing about football is you get all those highs and highs. I went to Iowa State. We played in the Big 12. We averaged like 80, 90,000 people a game. It was amazing for a young kid from a small farm in Saskatchewan. I'm transferred that into the CFL, and I had a great 8-year career, ups and downs, right? They are always trying to replace you, and you do get replaced once in a while, and you have to kind of reinvent yourself and make sure, you put yourself out there and you find the right position. But the thing about pro sports is there's a clock on the wall. You don't know when your number's up, but every one of us at one point gets that phone call. Very few guys get to pick their retirement date. And one day, I think I had 1 year left in my contract with the Calgary Stampeders. But there's big changes happening. Coaches were getting fired. There was a lot of people no returning. And my phone call came 5 days before training camp. My wife was pregnant with our first son. I'd just gotten my first job, I had my real estate license, and when Randy and I had the radio show back in the day, I got a call from a guy, Harold Edwards, worked downtown in Calgary in industrial real estate. And he calls me up and he says, hey, you know what? You're gonna have some time on your hands now. He goes, but let me make you an offer. About 5 years ago, I was doing commercial developments in BC. I lost everything. The only thing I had to my name was my house, and that was it. My daughter was moving to Calgary. Her husband got a great oil and gas job. So I said, you know what, at 57 years old, I'm going to have to reinvent myself. So he moved to Calgary, and he did really well. He just buckled down, he focused, he had his book he carried around, Psycho-Cybernetics. I'm sure some of you guys have read it before. Daryl, I know you're a big fan of the book. And he just focused on rebuilding his life at 57 years old. And he said, Sheldon, I've been averaging $700,000 a year in commissions for the last 5 years. I'm on track to get out of this and to retire. He goes, but I have a goal. I've never done $1 million. And he goes, I came from an athletic background as well. I know the drive that you guys have. I know you're not afraid to get out in front of people. I want you to be my legs, and I want you to help me get to that $1 million. And I'm like, you know what? I need a team. I need a coach. I've always been a team player. I've never done anything like that myself before. I was like, you know what? I'm going to learn from you, Coach Harold. And it took us a couple of years, but sure enough, Whirlpool at that time was looking for their first big 1 million square foot warehouse in Calgary. We got the deal. We did a bunch of other big deals. It was amazing. And sure enough, we hit his first $1 million year, which I got about that much of. But over the next few years, we just slammed off some major years. And with his coaching, just learn that focus. Randy talks about, you're the one that's got to get yourself up in the morning. You're the one that has to look at that market. You're the one that has to understand the obstacles and the opportunities that are in front of you. And we did that. And it was an amazing experience. It was an amazing ride. And in about 5 years, he retired. Fast forward, we get into 2013, 2014, 2015. And you guys all know what happened with oil and gas in Calgary, right? Suddenly all my clients, they're going under, we're selling buildings, we're in a recession. It was horrible. And I realized for the first time that I was really good. I was really prepared, but I hated my job. I was like Daryl said, I was on the bus, but I was in the wrong seat. I was packing the bags when I wanted to be driving, or maybe vice versa. I don't know. But I realized every year I was getting grumpier and grumpier. I was setting kind of a bad example for my wife and my kids. I didn't like who I had become, and I realized I was living somebody else's dream. And then, fast forward into COVID, I'm sitting there one day, we have a trailer out in Lake Kookanusa, and one of the beautiful things about COVID was you really did get to take a little bit down. It was scary, right? Scary times. But you did get a little bit of time to sit back and reprocess and rethink your life. And at that point, we're sitting there and we're like, you know what? I don't love the real estate aspect of this anymore. But I still know the game, I like the game, and really, when I was happiest in my life, when I was out there, when I was creating. Because even in football, you're out there, you're putting on a show and you're creating, you're doing exactly, you live in your dreams, you get to be the superhero. And I don't think anybody considers photography superheroes, but I did. I dreamt of, what if we just got a bunch of drones and some cameras and videos, and Sheldon, do you know how to take pictures and edit them? Can't be that hard, can it? So, I had the time during COVID, so I go to University of YouTube and I start taking every online course that I can and playing with cameras, playing with video cameras, playing with the drones. And within a couple of years, just through networking and going out there, like I was saying earlier, not advertising, just talking to people, built up a nice clientele of clients. And it was sort of an interesting time in my life because I was achieving, I was able to do it, but I was still missing what I had back in the day, whether it was in football or when I started with real estate, which is a team around me, a locker room, people that I could talk to and bounce ideas off of. And that's when Randy and I, we probably hadn't talked for 10 years, but once a year, twice a year for 10 years, reached out to me.
Yeah. So, I know you're all curious about the underwear and the banana. And if you haven't heard anything, I know you're still thinking, what's with the underwear and the banana? So we were teammates, and we were actually roommates 2005, 6, and 7, right?
4, 5, 6. 5, 6.
5, 6, 7. Or maybe 5, 6, 7. I don't know. It's easy now. You hit your head. enough times as a football player. You know. And by the way, cameraman, you're doing a great job because I know we're standing and I know you're tracking, and all the other interviews were like static, so it's easy, but he's got to move, so we can stand on our marks.
Yeah, there you go.
So the banana. So we're roommates in 2005, and we're in Edmonton, and you know, it's customary on a Friday night in Edmonton, we watch Friday night football, because the CFL always has a Friday night game, so we're in our hotel room, and we're in our underwear. Now, I didn't want to get down into my underwear, so I just brought a pair for you, but we're in our underwear, and CBC had a talent strike, so CBC used to carry the CFL games, and what they were doing was they were showing the games, but they didn't have announcers because there was a strike. So basically you're watching the game in mute. And so generally I'm a pretty outgoing and creative guy. So I grabbed the banana and I started doing the play-by-play with the banana because it was more fun to do play-by-play with a banana. Oh, there you go, I can do this. So I started doing play-by-play with the banana, and Sheldon's laying in bed in his underwear and he's like, what are you doing? And I don't know what you thought of me at the time, because we actually competed for the same spot, but we had a really great relationship. You know, he played most of the time. I was his backup, but I also did the long snapping, which is, if you don't know what it is, I'm really good at throwing things between my legs. And so I'm talking in this banana, and I'm like, do the color commentary, man. Like, we gotta make sure.
Chevy, no, this is stupid, man. Go to bed.
No, I'm not going to bed. We're watching the game, so grab the banana and do it. So we start doing play-by-play with 2 bananas in our underwear. And he's like, Chef.
Yeah, you might be onto something here. Like, Chev was that guy in the locker room. Everybody's got that person in their company, right? The guy that just talks too much, you just can't stay on task, can't stay focused. And here he is at night holding a banana to my mouth, which no grown man should ever do.
Yeah, but we did.
But it was fun, right? It was fun. It worked.
And he's like, Chef, you might be onto something. So fast forward, we got a quick little break on the Fan Night 60. They had football Fridays, and they asked Sheldon and I to go on the show. And you know, we were so eager because like we were so good with our banana and our underwear that we're like, hey, Rob Kerr, who was the host at the time, we're like, Rob, we need our own show. He was like, okay, well, next segment, you guys are on. What are you gonna call it? And Sheldon had a nickname because he had a really quick story. He hit quarterback low, and they called him Nasty from that point because they made the pass check was kind of hard to say. So he was nasty. So I'm like, our show's the Chevy and Nasty Show, and that's kind of where it sparked. And the banana in the underwear got us to do something we loved. And we were on the air for 6 years. And it was primarily a show that reviewed the week's game that we played, tell people why we won and why we're so awesome, or why we lost and why the other team was so good. And we did that for 6 years. And it carried beyond Sheldon's career with the Stamps into his real estate. 2011, kind of things fell apart. We weren't doing the show anymore. And as Sheldon said, we hadn't spoken to each other in a long time. You know, we'd go for a coffee here, we'd go for a coffee there. Great friendship like brothers, right?
Yeah.
Get together and it's like, man, we gotta do this again. And it was always ended with, dude, we gotta do the show again. It was always like, I'll call Sheldon on the phone even now, and we'll have like a full hour-and-a-half conversation. Like, oh, we should have recorded that. So COVID hits everyone in a different way. I'm a single dad. At the time, I had my kids 5 days, and I didn't see them for 10 days. I was going through a health crisis, or a health issue. I had a tumor in my neck that I didn't know if it was cancerous. Couldn't see your friends. I had just gotten my job as a community safety officer in the fire department, and the day I showed up to the office, they sent me home for 2 years. It's like, anybody ever watched The Avengers? When Thanos blipped, I was like one of the people that got blipped off the fire department. Like, I didn't see my friends. I had a bunch of friends that I enjoyed going to fires with. I couldn't see them. I didn't have people come to my house. My family's in Montreal. My kids were gone 10 days at a time. My girlfriend lives in Red Deer. I was like, holy, this sucks. Plus, I work with seniors who, a lot of them have outlived their children. I'm like, I gotta find something that brings me joy. So I called Sheldon. I'm like, Sheldon, we gotta get the band back together. And we went for a coffee. I don't even know how we got there. I think it was that
Well, because I just started with you, so I have all these cameras and recording equipment and all these things. I'm like, Chevy, we don't need radio anymore. Yeah. We can start a podcast.
Yeah. So we sat down, we said, we're going to bring the band back together. And we're like, you know what? Our show is 2 guys who have lived a lot. We've done a lot on the football field. But we also failed a lot in life, in football and in life. And so we said, our show is not the Barstool. You know, there's Barstool Sports. It's all sports, rah, rah, rah. Our show is a campfire. We lean into sports because that opens conversations. A lot of people love sports. I don't care that I can throw a ball between the legs really well, but a lot of people seem to think it's cool.
You know, and then you get some of the interesting stories, because once you start hitting that age of you're no longer invincible, and you start talking to old teammates, they're going through stuff too. Just a few weeks ago, we had a player, Mike Maurer. He was called the Wolverine because he had the chops. He looked like Wolverine from X-Men. Well, you know, we reached out because he's no longer Mike Maurer. He's now Maven Maurer. He's gone through the full transition. A teammate, my roommate with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, is now Maven Maurer. And talking about her experience going back to the BC Lions to celebrate the 2003 Grey Cup. You reach out to the people around you from your network and you see exactly what everybody's going. You're not in alone. Everybody's got a story. Everybody's got something going on. But you can't help yourself or other people by hiding out on your couch during COVID. You have to put yourself out there. You have to reach out and connect. And that's what's so awesome about evenings like tonight, an opportunity for entrepreneurs to get together, talk about what's good, talk about what's bad, just share ideas, share some more stories, and hopefully set up a lot of connections to say, hey, let's grab coffee next week. I want to talk to you about this.
And to be truthful, since we made that decision, this is 2 years ago, in fact, the Super Bowl is this Sunday. Our first episode back was a Super Bowl preview 2 years ago between the Chiefs and the Eagles. And it was literally us setting up a camera saying, we don't know how to podcast, but we're going to do this. And now people think we know how to podcast, but we're still like, we don't know how to podcast. And I'm sure that's like every one of you in your business. Every one of you had a banana in your underwear at some point. Every one of you had a banana and an underwear. And at some point you took that crazy, silly idea that was just something fun and something passionate, whether it was football, podcasting, making suits, and you turned it into the thing you do. Now, Sheldon and I were at the point right now where we have a really fun show. We go on live every Tuesday, which is crazy. We've done 61 consecutive episodes for two guys that are busy with family, kids, never have time. That 10:30 Tuesday night slot works. We have guys like Daryl and Performance Freight Management that have been supporting us. Megapix and YYC Business, that you can find us on there with a lot of your videos featuring us. We're on YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff. And the impact has been great. Like I said, we have a very small group. We're not the New Heights Kelsey brothers, but we probably did it first. But what we are is we're passionate about what we do, and every once in a while, something good happens. Last year, we had a men's mental health movie night, and we did that in Cochrane. We had a theater full of 100 men that came together to watch a movie, listen to us jabber for a few minutes, and then Brett Gardner do some motivational mental health coaching, and it was such a powerful night. And then you hear these stories. The other day, I was with Daryl. I was doing some work for the fire department at the Hitman game. Daryl and I, we were talking for like 10 minutes, just shooting it at one of the intermissions, and there was a guy waiting with his daughter. And it was kind of awkward because he's just standing there, and I thought maybe he wanted a picture or something. Anyways, when Daryl leaves, this guy comes up to me. He's like, you don't know me. And his daughter was autistic. I talking, and he's like, you don't know me. But he's like, I listen to every one of your shows. Like, we know who listens to us. Daryl listens to us. Bruno listens to us. Adam's, like, I can tell who's listening. He's like, I've never commented, but I've heard every one of your episodes. He's like, I want to thank you. He's like, with me and my daughter, I can't get out. He's like, I don't have a social life. I got separated in the last 2 years, and he's like, on a Tuesday night, when I go to bed, I turn it on, and it's like I got some buddies. I was like, ooh. Like, we used to say this. I said, Sheldon, after COVID, I said, Sheldon, I said, we got to do this podcast. My mom lives in Montreal. Your mom lives in Saskatchewan. I said, if only our moms listen to us. If only our moms listen to us, it's worth doing.
Our mom stopped listening to us about 46 episodes ago.
My mom, I can't believe my old Italian mom was like, Mom, you listen to the show. She's like, you don't really talk about things I'm interested in. I'm like, ah! So I had to refocus. So now, if guys like that gentleman, Tyler, are the only people that listen to us, it's worth it. It's worth it to help one person, because I'm doing what I love. I went from talking to this guy every 6 months and maybe us blowing each other off for coffee several times in a year to we have a constant flow chat group, and Daryl's in it, and Trey, our 21-year-old producer, that we're not only mentoring him in his craft, but I think we're mentoring him through life a little bit. And man, it's awesome. We're doing it with love. I'm not making any money off it. If any of you want to join the ride, hey, we can make some money together and change some lives. But we do what we love, and if we get to that point where the thing we love becomes the thing we do for the rest of our lives, then that's great. And I think it's neat to be in a room full of people that have gotten off the bed in their underwear, eaten the banana, and gone and done what they did. So thank you for having us, guys. Please, if you have a chance to join the ride, comment, and yeah, we'd love to get in contact with you. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, and I don't have a special offer, like everyone else, but if anybody wants a signed banana, Sheldon and I will sign the banana.
Not the signed underwear?
No, not the underwear. I need those for tomorrow.
With Chevy and Nasty, host Randy Chevrolet and Sheldon the Pastor guide you through great stories that spark great conversations. Two really big guys talking a big game. The boys are locked in and ready to go. Welcome to the ride.
All right, one more time for thank you all very much for coming. I really appreciate it. I hope you had a good time. I hope you were inspired. I think it's so cool that these two gentlemen have started the ride and they're connecting with people. And even if it's for themselves, they've recreated a connection that they maybe faded away. If you guys want to keep the energy going, if you're excited, if you don't want the night to end, then I encourage you to head. There's a 4-minute drive away. There's the Hitman's Bar. If you haven't been there, it's inside the Cowboys Casino. If anyone's a WWE fan, it's entirely dedicated to Bret the Hitman Hart. And there's like wrestling paraphernalia like everywhere. There's giant posters of Hulk Hogan, and like it's pretty nostalgic. It's pretty cool. So I encourage you to head on over there. We'll see you there after we clean up. If anyone has been inspired tonight and thinking, you know what, I've wanted to do a podcast, or I wanted to make a video, or I'd love to be on stage, or I want to learn a book, I'd love to kind of figure out how to do this for my business, for myself, or whatever. I'll put a QR code up here. It's my personal booking link. You can chat with me. I'll tell you stories of what we did, what we failed at, what we didn't do, what we wish we did. I'll try and connect you, because I know many of you here. I can try and make connections. I can do whatever you need. Caitlin's his name. So if we get that QR code up there, Ken, other than that, thank you all very much for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys. We really appreciate it. Make sure you keep the connections going. Please follow up with the contacts you made tonight. The whole point is to create this network, connect people to who they need to be connected with, do business together. Don't let the opportunity slip past. So many times you have networking events, you collect all the cards, you go home, and then you get back into the whirlwind. Please don't let that happen. Reach out to each other, get connected and support each other, because that's how we're going to grow together and that's how we're going to be successful. So find your sweet spot in your mind, body, and soul, and the sweet spot in your business, and we will see you at the next Power Network Group event or at the after party. Thank you.
Michelle.